Okay, here we go. So, welcome to the first video on this channel. I hope to play some Game of Thrones, show some games, show some decks, talk about the game, good stuff. So let's get right into the deck that we're going to be playing today. This is House Baratheon with the Kings of Winter agenda. And Kings of Winter is the agenda that I've been experimenting with recently. It's a pretty bad agenda, but I've committed myself to trying every agenda at the game at some point, so we're going to try it. The main problems with this agenda are twofold. The first one is that everybody uses summer plots, so your agenda basically does nothing like half the time, even if you have a winter plot revealed, and that's pretty unfortunate. But honestly, the bigger problem is the deck building restriction. You can't use trade routes, you can't use close call, you can't use Late Summer Feast, you can't, well, I guess those are the good ones, but just losing trade routes by itself is pretty unfortunate. And then having to run I think I run 5 winter plots in every deck just to justify actually having Kings of Winter as the agenda. But it's still not great, although I will say it's improved a lot since earlier in the game. Some pretty playable winter plots have been released in the past maybe 6 months or so compared to when I started playing. Anyways, so the deck that we have here, the Baratheon Kings of Winter, obviously with Kings of Winter and Baratheon, the temptation is going to be to run the Withering Cold and use the 6-cost Selyse with a bunch of dominance crap, but I don't like dominance, so we're not doing that. We're doing more of a sort of House Baratheon, big guys, good stuff game plan, because that's not super interesting either, but it's not dominance, and Baratheon doesn't have that many other options. Let's look at the plot deck first. One thing that is nice about winter plots in Baratheon is you can use Barring the Gates. I believe I have 0 characters that care about this. I have no effects that bring anything into play except by normal marshalling, so this is pretty handy, I guess. Not as great as you would expect because everyone and their mom is playing Greyjoy, and this doesn't really do much to Greyjoy, but I mean, you might as well. If you're going to use winter plots, this is one of the only good ones. You also have the new plot, the Winter Reserves. This one is actually pretty nice to start out with. You do get the increased reserve to sort of counter the decreased reserve from your Kings of Winter, and it boosts your economy a little bit, which you need because you can't use trade routes, so that's handy. The other winter plots we have are Ranger's Cache, which is kind of like a crappier version of Counting Coppers, but if you do get the -1 gold on the opponent, then it's kind of like 2 more gold in your favor than Counting Coppers for 1 less card, which really isn't that bad. The main reason this plot is not that great is that you have to wait a whole turn to get the cards. And with Counting Coppers, you usually want the cards right away. But still, we're using it. We'll see what happens. Then we also have Nothing Burns Like the Cold. And this may seem a little bit questionable with our Dragonstone Castle and Red Keep, which we really do not want to sacrifice for that plot, but usually you can just play around that, and if worse comes to worst, we do have Spears of the Merling King, which we can hopefully toss for this plot. I can usually find a pretty good spot to play this, in my experience, and having a 7 initiative plot in the deck is pretty nice if I really want to go first with Big Robert or whatever. The other 2 plots are the King in the North and Valar Morghulis, pretty standard. So the draw deck here, there's really not that much interesting in the draw deck. Probably the only 2 sort of notable cards that I have in here that you might not expect is this new card, A Pinch of Powder. I dismissed this card when it first came out, and I still think it's probably not great overall, but I swear over 50% of my games are against Greyjoy right now, and this card seems pretty good against Greyjoy. Another thing is that as Baratheon, one of the few things we're actually good at is winning big power challenges. So this makes those into more of a threat than I suppose they otherwise would be. We also have Support of the People. Likewise, if we're going to be winning power challenges by 5 or more strength, might as well get a Red Keep or a Dragonstone Castle. Pretty nice if you're actually able to pull that off. One last thing to note about Baratheon is they did sort of get buffed with the new restricted list because now you can actually use Sir Barristan Selmy, who is quite nice to have around. It does mean that you now have 3 characters who can use your Lightbringer as big, high-strength, power icon, renown guys. And that's pretty good. We also have the new card, the Storm's End Maester, and playable 2-drops in Baratheon is nice to have. let's hope they release at least one more card like this, because everyone knows Baratheon really just needs a better small end. Anyways, let's kneel some guys, win some power challenges, see if we can win a game. I'm gonna see it. Oh, well, good. We didn't have to wait that long. Pick your deck, buddy. Stark Crossing. Well, I'm gonna toss this hand because there's no economy, and we need economy really badly. This is a pretty good opening hand. I don't know. I don't want to set up the Ashai Priestess. I want to use her for a Melisandre kneel, but we have to set her up, and we do have the Scene in Flames, so whatever. It's good just because we got Melisandre on setup, and she's going to be super important. So we have 3 economy now. 1 on the board, 2 in hand, and we have some big guys ready to go. So that's nice. Hopefully we can pick up a Great Hall. This Great John is 100% getting kneeled out. I guess talking about the economy of the deck, it's unfortunate to lose plots like trade routes when you're running 9, I believe, 7 cost characters, 2 Barristans and 1 Beric Dondarrion, because why not? We do have 3 Maester Cressons to hopefully keep milk off of him. Jeez, that's a scary start. And he has Brand to cancel this, but it still works. Let me marshal real quick. We can actually bring out Robert here. And I think Robert is probably the right call. The other option is Selyse and Davos. But if we bring out Robert and Neil Greatjohn, we still have to eat a military, and that's really bad. Let's bring out Barristan to try and cancel his military claim by saving Melisandre. But then we won't have enough money for Scene in Flames, so that's also really bad. I don't know, maybe we'll just save the Scene in Flames for next turn and just hope to, like, survive. Let's see what happens. Anyways, going back to the economy, it's a little bit questionable to have all these big characters in Great Halls without... We don't even have a Noble Cause. Like, the highest gold plots we have are a couple of Barrings that get boosted to 6 by winter reserves, but I don't know. I feel like you just have to try with Baratheon. They just don't have many other game plans that they can go for besides play big dudes and get renown. That's fine. The bad hits there would have been Robert, and the Scene in Flames would be the really bad ones. And I guess I'd rather he didn't get the Rose Robe, but it's not a big deal. Oh shit, I forgot he stealthed my Barristan, so I am going to have to fulfill the military claim. That's pretty bad. Not a whole lot I can do about that. I'm going to get totally kneeled out and not be able to do anything this turn. And he has 2 duplicates, so... Oh, and Septa, so he's very safe against Valar Morghulis. We might just be totally dead in this game. We might already be screwed from turn 1. If I just have 1 more gold for the Scene in Flames to kneel that Greatjohn, man. Oh, and Superior Claim. Well, that's great. I guess it's good that he kept the Sansa standing to win dominance. That's fine. So I should have marshaled Robert there after all, so that I could play the King in the North this turn. But I don't know. I don't think it matters a whole ton. Let's discard Davos, because we want to keep Selyse for the Melisandre kneel. Keep our economy, keep our save, keep our Robert, keep another Melisandre kneel. Toss Stannis because we have Robert, and we don't have Great Halls, so... None of these are good options, but I'm just going to go for Barring the Gates because it's the highest gold that we can get. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Well, That's really convenient for me because now I get to go first with Robert. 2 Great Halls. Shame we just discarded Stannis. And 2 gold means a bodyguard for him, and Scene in Flames for the challenges phase. And it's going to get canceled by Bran, but that's fine because we really just are using it to kneel. I don't know, we'll kneel something. Yeah, there's the cancel. Draw a card with Wyman, maybe. I guess we'll still kneel this, and then we'll try to kneel Arya with Robert. Military claim is pretty irrelevant here, so I think I'm going to go for a power challenge with Robert. But, yeah. Oh, no. 1 min, huh? I'm recording, dude. Don't want to keep viewers sitting here waiting for a minute. What are you doing? Well, let's think about this situation a little bit while he's doing that. If I go for the power challenge with Robert, he can, like, kneel these 2 to defend it and then sack somebody to stand Wyman back anyways. That's pretty bad. But, maybe I have to do a power with both of these because then I probably win it and I probably kneel Arya. And then he can't get his crossing because he will not be able to do a military challenge. And I'll probably lose both an intrigue and a power at that point. So, none of our options are great here. We're just in a bad spot. I guess if I do the power with Robert by himself, he can defend with these 2, sack Sansa, and then he gets 3 challenges, and he can stealth my Barristan, so that's really bad. I think my game plan here is going to be to do a power with Robert and Melisandre. The intrigue claim is pretty irrelevant because he's 2 over reserve. Hopefully I can intimidate Arya, and then Barristan can defend a power challenge. He'll still be able to win the power if he uses both characters, but I don't know. Like I said, we really have no good options here. We're just going to see what happens. And next turn we can play the King in the North. Maybe that'll give us some breathing room. Yeah, no defenders. That makes sense because he couldn't win it, and if he defended with somebody, it'd just be letting Robert kneel another character. Well, yeah. Intimidate Arya. And see, on his turn, he can start with the intrigue and then do a power with both of these, which is more than Barristan is able to defend. So let's just do the military and get renown on Barristan. That's good that he did that because we do run Valar Morghulis. Probably play the King of the North next turn, but if we can just pick up... Oh, that's really bad. Oh, no, it's not. Now, why did he... I'm not sure what the idea was there. I guess it's always good to draw cards, but that was pretty unnecessary use of that event, I would say. Because he's already over reserve, so he's drawing a net of 1 card. He spent 1 card in the event, but he draws 2 off the insight. But he's already over reserve, so it just seems pointless. Maybe he might be digging for a certain card that he really wants to find, like a marriage pact or something. That would make sense, I guess. He's at 11 power. We're probably screwed. King of the North, and maybe we'll have to do Valar Morghulis after that. We'll see. I'm going to guess that his plot is probably you win or you die, because every deck seems to run that now, and it actually makes a lot of sense for this deck in this situation. Oh, that's pretty bad also. At least Baratheon can stand up. I do have a Melisandre Neil available to hit this Great John Umber, and he can't use Wyman because of the King in the North, so that's nice, I guess. Maybe that'll let us hold out for another turn. I guess let's play the Rose Road. Yeah. I think I can actually marshal both characters here. Yeah, and I have 1 gold for Selyse's ability if I want to put an intrigue on Sir Courtney Penrose, but I highly doubt I'm going to bother doing that because I don't care at all about this Great Hall. Basically, the game plan here would be to not lose a power challenge, but I don't think... I mean, he has more power icons than us, so that's probably not going to be possible. So if I defend this with Melisandre, then he can declare Sansa by herself to win a power challenge at 6 strength. And that's really bad, so we're just not going to defend it. If we could have picked up just 1 more save here, like a dupe or a bodyguard or something, Valar Morghulis would be pretty good. But we're totally out of cards. Valar will leave us with only Robert, and we're going to be in top deck mode. So that's still... And he's going to still have dupes Arya, so she'll have the military icon. Septim Ordain protects her from Valar Morghulis, and he'll have this Catelyn. So those are all really bad. If he has superior claim here, then we just lose on the spot. Yeah, military claim doesn't matter, so I don't care about doing a military. We'll chump block it. So 14 power. I guess we can do a military challenge anyways because we have Courtney's ability to stand himself, and we have the 1 gold, so we'll win dominance. It's nice, I guess. Flippin' forced march, man. If we could have actually used our big dudes this turn, would have helped quite a lot. Got a Northern Armory. That's nice, I guess. Hopefully he spins another duplicate here, but I doubt it. Probably kill Septim Ordain. That'd be my choice. Oh, duplicate. Thank you. Okay, so I think I have to play Valar Morghulis here, or there's just no way I can stay in the game. And we're probably still going to lose, but we just have to pray. You need to, like, have the top deck from God or something. Oh, he played Dohaeris. Well, I guess we did that at the right time. I assume he's going to trigger his Dohaeris first to save all his dudes from death, but I don't know. Oh no, he's doing Morghulis first. I guess that makes sense, because this way he kills Melisandre, and if I somehow top deck another copy of her, I can't play her. Hey, that's a pretty good top deck. I don't know if we'll have enough gold to play Stannis. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, I think we have exactly enough. Damn, hate to see that. That was a really strong counterplay from him. We're confirmed totally dead at this point. No way I can deal with that. But, I mean, our only play is to marshal Stannis. He's going to die because he can do a military with these two and stealth Robert, and then Stannis is dead. But what else can we do? Come on, declare them all. Use your whole board, dude. Bye-bye, Stannis. Maybe you can get him next time, buddy. There's no point to even doing a challenge with Robert because we have 0 claim and it'll give him a renown. And we might as well just keep him standing to win dominance instead. That way it at least goes on our house card. Now I really think if he has You Win or You Die, he's going to play it. But he might not have it at this point. I would have expected it either of those past 2 turns if he had that plot. But basically anything that lets him go first will probably let him win the game on his turn. Come on, hit pass, dude. I'm recording. And, oh, well. Here comes Nothing Burns. No flea bottom for you. And I get to go first with Robert. Well, I won't get to go first if he plays Win or You Die, but most other plots, yeah, beats that. Heads on spikes. He got me. Alright, let's top deck. I don't know, something really good. Lightbringer, that's what we need. Oh man, that is interesting. Well, let's just marshal what we have. Another nice thing about using the pinch of powder in Baratheon is he probably is going to assume that this is a Shadow Priestess. So maybe he'll be thrown off by the fact that this is going to come out and send his Rob back to hand. I don't know. The problem is he can still do a stealth military with Arya. Although actually, if we just go all in on power, and then he doesn't block it, we can intimidate Arya and send Rob back, and actually that might keep us in the game. Because now, due to his agenda, he actually cannot declare a challenge with Bran or the Winterfell Steward. They'll go down to 0 strength. Get him out. Intimidate his only character that can attack. And now we have a tie game. Look at that. Well, not totally tied, but 11-10, pretty close. Oh, yeah, darn. Totally forgot about that. Alright, so I think he still wins. Oh well. If we just had one more save for that Valar Morghulis, I think we would have had a chance. Which is pretty good, considering how good his start and his refill after Valar Morghulis both were. And the fact that we're playing Baratheon Kings of Winter, and he's playing a real deck. He does get to 15 here with the one more from Dominance. GG, my friend. GG. Well, we lost that one, but what can you do? Sometimes the other guy just has all this good stuff, draws really well, has a really strong start, and you're just behind the whole game and you just lose. It happens. It's not a big deal. Maybe we'll get him next time.